And then hit it. That could be True Talk Nation missile.
Oh shit.
Truth Talk Nation.
Yeah.
Man, you already know. Once again, blowing good. We
know
here. Judo Woke Ace.
T Mizzle. The Great.
T Mizzle the Great. You already know we got a new one, man. We're going to talk about this lottery game, yo.
Oh, man, that's old time. Lottery game from the North End, man. Originated from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a share touch on that. I mean, shit. Lottery.
Hit big, man. That's what the new the Bumpy Johnson series is about.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not just about the gangsterism. It's about the start of the number game or after the number game.
Yeah, you know, the black community, we always want to, you know what I'm saying, gamble, you know what I'm saying, place our bet because that's a come up. We look at it as a quick come up.
Man, we're gonna talk to Aseer and see what's going down, man. Let's call them up and see what's going down.
Yeah, it's another big show, man. We got Brother Aseer on the show, y'all.
What's been going down, Mizzle?
Not much, man. Just staying in tune with the latest things that's been going on as far as, you know, current events that's going on here, you know, Trump, then, you know what I'm saying, the entertainment, hip-hop awards going on. Just, you know, stay in touch what's in the hood, you know, so we can put that true talk out here for the nation.
That's right, man. We calling Aseer right now, man. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, we got Aseer on the show, you know what I'm saying, and just tune in and spread the word, you know what I'm saying, you know. About to go down, y'all. You know, it's true talk.
Maybe we can call it. Hold up.
I want to shout out to the NFL refs. You know what I'm saying?
You already know,
you know
man.
What I'm saying? The Lions.
Okay, what you were saying, Aseer?
Good.
With the Renaissance, the Harlem Renaissance era, we want to break that down with the history of the lottery. And what's her name? Madam Queen.
Madam Queen, yeah, the number game. Yep, from the North End. I mean, you know, she's in a lot of popular movies that's been out. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of the number game started from Moorish history.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all the number stuff came from a practice that the Moors would do called magic squares. And magic squares was like a thing that they would do to teach some of the deeper mysteries in the Kabbalah. And then when you reached a certain level with the numbers and all of that, you was able to, you would receive a reward and stuff like that. So when they started to civilize the mercenaries to fight for them and stuff in Europe and stuff, so one of the ways they got them to be that was to teach them the practice of the magic squares. And so it was then adopted by the Templars. And then from the Templar adoption, then it went to, it started to go into like different cultures that the Templars had relationships with.
Right. Okay.
And then from there, because it's in different cultures that they had, like China. China has what they call magic money. There's like a certain type of money, spirit money that you buy to actually bring real money to you. Because they believe if you're going to do things with the ancestors and the spirits, that you have to pay for what it is you get. So they have altars. Every time you go to a Chinese restaurant, you ain't never been to one without no altar. Altar, they got real money and they got what they call magic money.
Magic money.
And that's what they do. So the late 1900s, 20s, stuff, all of that. People started getting more into the practice.
Okay, and like what I noticed for the new Forrest Whitaker era, or the new series that he got that's out right now. The numbers game was big. I ain't gonna really say the series like Hoodlum. I'm gonna start from like Hoodlum.
Yeah.
When Madam Queen was at power and he was like the muscle.
So, yeah. She was a St. Clair though.
She was
the white St. Clairs and he had the black. The St. Clairs come from a family called the Sinclairs. And the Sinclairs are an old Moorish family out of what they now today call there were two parts in France and another spot in London.
Mm-hmm.
So she, by way of Haiti or whatever, was big time in terms of the underworld. Big was one of the only places that most black people can make money under the 14th Amendment. You see what I'm saying? That's what kind of put them out, because as second-class citizens with no nationality.
So that's where, like in the Hitler movie, she was more like, we need to be together. I more speaks French, but she was from the islands, right?
Right. She was from Haiti.
Haiti. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So she was a revolutionary, and she's the one that kind of brought the number situation to the forefront like that. And she was running it before the white boys like Maya Lansky and the rest of these dudes even knew. You know what I'm saying? What it was, she was already putting in and making millions off of it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. So we wanted to get it off into that, to where right now we in the Renaissance, to right now we in the Great Depression era.
Mm-hmm.
And so the white boys right now is losing a lot of money in their rackets.
Well, yeah, because they've depreciated the market. It's like Madam St. Clair or Madam C.J. Walker, for instance. A madam is somebody who used to pimp hoes. You know what I'm saying? It was like a female pimp. So if she was referred to as Madam C.J. Walker back in the days, that should tell you something as to terms of how she also was making some of that money, because she used to host what they call the roundtable parties. And at the roundtable parties, she would bring out the shorties, and these roundtable parties were funded by the so-called talented 10th, the so-called new upwardly mobile blacks, under the jurisdiction or working with the devil, to do what they do. 50 Cent, a lot of people. And so she or they, in some instances were working with and at times against it.
Right, okay.
But for the most part, this was just another means of able to do it.
Yeah, man, in that case, they gave her the ability to do it, and she ran with the situation that was in hand.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But that was the problem, I think, is that there's because even though she had a nationality, you know what I'm saying, she was still dealing with the underworld. So Madam C.J. Walker becoming a millionaire, that allowed them to be able to foster a certain degree of prestige that basically carried her situation farther and allowed other people to come into the game and bring more relevance to her name in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, what she basically did was just revolutionize the game as best as she could at the time. But then when she didn't go along with the rest of the way the situation was going, meaning when Lucky Luciano and the niggas started to try to move up into Harlem and start to create, the separatist thing that began to happen amongst us, that's when everything started to go awry for her.
It seemed like a lot in that time too. When I see a lot of like Dutch shorts and all that, they was on some disrespect type stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying, you work for me, and these was foreigners.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because remember, the so-called Asiatic man and woman have been made foreigners in their own land. So when the Caucasians and the so-called that agreed to be white, they agreed then to allow their communities to be fostered. So Lucky Luciano, these type of people, they had a certain leverage in Harlem because they knew that they would have certain niggas that would do their bidding for them.
but they themselves would never go to Harlem. See what I'm saying? Like Lucky Luciano was never in Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like he was by himself? No. Dutch Schultz and that piece of crap. He was never in Harlem for Dolo. These niggas was not walking down the street. You see what I'm saying?
Feel you.
The way that they try to make it seem like they was. No, they had Negroes in Harlem that would do bidding for them so they wouldn't have to come. And then if shit got too hectic, then they would send the guinea back up. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, they always have a sellout amongst us to be able to help them do their thing. But they can't come around us directly like that unless they deep and unless they've been invited. So, because most dudes was about getting their bread, you know what I mean? The underworld is the kind of like the gray area. So what's cool on that show, Godfather Harlem, is that it shows you the intersection between the boule black mason, who would be Adam Clayton Powell.
Okay.
Right? The hood black mason, who would be Freemason, who would be Bumpy Johnson. And then the so-called black man with knowledge of self, who left all that shit alone and is now about building a nation in the form of knowledge.
Yeah, you're right. Got it, Aseer. Yeah, Judah, man, you know, Aseer just touched down on some real positive things, man, you know what I'm saying?
You know, so they have all of these different aspects and creations, but for the most part, it's all about maintaining the status quo, no matter who is running that. The problem with black folk is that black folk is the only ethnic group that is the majority, but they don't control their infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
They control their means of distribution or production. So when the crack era came, think about it. Somebody had to teach these young men who dropped out of chemistry class and all of that. Somebody had to teach Rick Ross, not the imposter, not the rapper, but the real one, Freeway Ricky Ross. Somebody had to teach that nigga how to cut. Somebody had to teach them how to break off the wet. You know what I'm saying? Somebody had to teach them how to use a certain amount of banking soda. You know what I'm saying? Some people had to tell them, okay, well, you don't want to break too much off the wet, because if you do that, then you're not going to have, it's going to be too things. So you're going to have to step on it. Like, who's teaching these people how to do that?
Right.
Their role models was gangsters and thugs. Like you said, they teaching them these things. So who else would they?
All of this is about the same thing, which is population control at the root of it all. You know, somebody controlling somebody else's population through the means to be able to control the means, again, of production. So it's not that they just want everybody, because, you know, let me backtrack, because people say I'll jump from things to thing, but that's how melanin is. It's not stationary. It can move and be fluid. So those people who can follow, you know, bear with me. But it's not enough to be in a situation to, like when brothers was in the streets selling like that, niggas wasn't doing that because that's what they necessarily wanted to do. It was the only way for them to achieve or get what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is with black folk is when they criminalized us by making us 13, 14, 15 Amendment citizens, it created the assumption that you were always guilty. You see what I'm saying? That you was always doing something. So it gave the oppressor, the so-called occupational government, the means to look like that we are living off of them. But if you purposely destitute it like this, like they'll say, oh, well, black fathers are not in the home. But then they'll tell you that, you know, almost 45 to 51% of so-called black men that go into the prison system never come out. So what are they saying? So you're saying that the fathers ain't in the home, but then if you're shooting the fathers dead in the street every other day, if you're locking everyone up, you see what I'm saying? You're creating that. So
Right.
You're blaming the people on the creation and the social invention that you allowed them to go into, just so that way you can maintain not even power, but the ability to exist for another 100 years. You got to remember, this is all about reducing our numbers because their numbers are zero.
Zero.
They're zero all over the world. So the more you see Caucasian people pumped to you on TV as the majority, it is the opposite. It's only that way in the fiction, which is the TV.
You're right,
That's
man.
not the reality anymore.
We
The
outnumber.
reality is there's not enough of them left to maintain what they're doing. That's why they all at war with each other. This is the first time in history you can remember that you got a bunch of European people fighting each other. When you ever remember that?
Wow.
Yep, they fighting each other now, man.
Yeah, that's
Jealous.
You know, they've created a world by which no one that actually has a soul can exist and feel totally free. Meaning that regardless of what I have or what I think, if this society continues at the level that it's at, in order for me to stay in it, I have to give everything up about myself that actually made me who I am. Meaning that when I was taught that you had to tell the truth and that you couldn't lie and that you had to be about honor and integrity and stuff like that, I was taught that that's how you're supposed to live and that's how people are. But that's the reality. That's not the reality. The reality is nobody cares about that shit. The people who do care about it are few and far in between because they are so striving to maintain what they have. They not out there in the mainstream trying to convert everybody to their ideal. They just living their life. You know what I'm saying? Whereas everybody that's trying to convince you into something else usually don't have their shit together. So like when I'm talking to you about moral science, I'm not talking to you from the perspective of trying to get people to be Moors, because I know that even though all Moors are black, not all blacks are Moor. So that I don't expect people to be something that they scared of. And that's the majority of it is that. So it has nothing to do even with what we were taught wrong. It's about conforming now. It's like selling out is the new keeping it real. You know what I'm saying?
Keeping it real. You said it, man.
Snitching is the new keeping secrets. You know what I'm saying?
You said it, man.
You know what I'm saying? What you call it? Transgenderism is the new gay. You know what I'm saying?
Teaching teaching our minors that. They teaching our kids that. Our young black men. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on now. I'm glad you spoke on that, Aseer.
Yeah. That's exactly
that's acceptable now. Everything that you just said is acceptable right now. What's going on?
Yeah, everything. You got people that's willing to sacrifice themselves, their integrity, their self-respect, their parents, their love, their anything, just for money. Why else would you be in a situation where Rahana come out and say, "Oh, I couldn't do that because I couldn't sell out"? Meanwhile, you know how many black Negroes that's conscious I've seen making all types of excuses about how great it was and how these hoes is playing chess and not checkers and he's basically getting in and to do this and that. Rahana come down, shut all that shit down in one thing, saying the same shit I said on your show 2 weeks ago, almost a month ago. This nigga's a sellout, and anybody that's trying to co-sign him is a sellout too. That's all.
I got a picture right now of Pharrell. He's on a new G. Yeah, he with the I don't want to say it's a dress, but it's a bubble jacket dress.
Bubble coat dress.
It's a bubble ball gown.
For the winter.
But the words, I'm not looking at the dress. I'm looking at the words that they got going around. It says the new masculinity.
Yeah, that's what that is. That's what you're supposed to be. In order for you to be a man, you got to be a woman today. You know?
So how's that masculine?
Right.
With a bubble coat dress on, like we grew up. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and bubble coats was famous back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we didn't wear bubble dresses.
Yeah, we didn't wear bubble dresses.
You got the dresses, tuxedo dresses. You got the bubble coats. You got the.
Yeah.
fairy godmother. Like, we have to understand that there's just
It's
a certain
crazy out here
percentage
now, man.
of the population and people that are actually okay and balanced and not like, hey, I'm other than heterosexual. Like, I'm sorry, there are still a group of people that are heterosexual and can see certain inconsistencies in society, but, you know, we're going to be outcasts and we're going to be seen as the ones that are not going to be the inclusionists, and we have to accept everybody, and everybody's on their own journey, and if we're not on that journey, then we're somehow not accepting them in their whole, no, it's fine, it's just now, they're not new bitches, and niggas is just okay with that. And that's all right. Gay for pay is a new way that niggas get their dough. And anybody that thinks that that's wrong, how dare we have an opinion about men wearing feminine clothes? There is no feminine clothes. There is no man and woman. There is no gender. There is no this. We're all one. We're all, and this is the thing. If we don't go on that, then there's something wrong with you that you just won't let this. Because really, the people that all these people want to be liked by in Hollywood are the carriers of this agenda.
Yeah.
Pharrell his woman is a man, big bitch, big fucking bitch. He's always been effeminate, but because he's good looking, we're not going to say that, hey, there's something wrong. It's the same thing with Jaden Smith. They can talk about everything on the red table, except how is it raising a little boy that you've engendered to have to be feminine in a society that's now using black men as the new, you understand?
As the new hobby horse.
You say anything like that, that's too direct. You're a hater. You're not in the inclusion group. I'm for how everybody wants to be, but I'm not going to act like what I see taking place isn't taking place. Everybody else can be down with something. That's cool.
Right.
But I'm not going to raise my child and act like, hey, if you see a man in a bubble coat, we're going to now call it a bubble dress. We're going to say, well, it's a coat, so it's not. It's like Pharrell's always been that type of nigga. He's just getting a little bit more money now because Billy Porter's doing it. They all doing it.
What I think too, bro,
tuxedo dress.
They're at a stage where there are no men. The men that exist are us. You know what I'm saying? Like men or this new, like what I was saying with the Madam C.J. Walker stuff. Like, they created a little clique for them to be able to run black people that they refer to as the talented 10.
Mm-hmm.
In our time now, that talented 10 has now become the boule. You know what I'm saying? But then, before it was the talented 10, it was also a part of what's called the bourgeoisie, which again is another form of control in the form of social engineering.
What was that? The guys from Turkey that the ones that's turning around in circles?
You talking about the Sufis?
Over there that believes in like both sexes, because a lot of different sexual things came out of Istanbul, Constantinople.
Okay. In Constantinople, yeah. Well, you gotta understand, man. When it comes to other cultures, the aspect of whatever of our culture that they adopted for them to be able to practice themselves, you know, however they engendered it, that's how they deal with it. But that's not the original context. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas was not throwing acid in women's eyes for not wearing hijabs at the time of Muhammad. Like, they wasn't doing that. That's a new aberrant manifestation. Niggas was not creating situations to be constantly.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
To consciously be in a situation of. Constantly being this.
I didn't want to.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
No.
Dutch, I love being masculine, and they're making it to where it's a problem for you being masculine nowadays.
That's what I'm saying. They flipping the script, man. They flipping the roles.
Is at fault because men are the ones who destroy social constructs and systems.
Right.
You understand? We destroy it. Men with testosterone.
Exactly.
So for you not to have no men in a society, that's like saying I want plants with no seeds. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they want a world where nobody is gonna stop them, and the only people who will stop them are heterosexual men, because those are the MFs with the testosterone, with the zeal, with the drive, with the male rage. that will not allow them to be subjugated, no matter what color they are. I don't give a damn what color you are, whether you're white, black, Asian, Indian, whatever. There's some men that will cross that regardless to what color they are. They are not trying to wear a dress. They are not trying to raise their sons as girls. They're not trying to be with women who are trying to emasculate them and turn them into women.
Well, I got, as you talking about that, I got a picture right now on where you got Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade's son, and she's referring to him as my girls.
Yeah,
that's terrible,
yeah,
man.
But she's probably a dude. She's probably a girl. That's the thing that we don't understand, bro. Like everything, niggas believe. Look, I can show you a picture of somebody tomorrow. So, for example, they could show a picture of Puffy's long lost son, for instance. Just using him as an example. Hey, he got this son that's been out here for years. He looks just like him or whatever. Once it goes on the internet blog, it's true. Whether it's true or not is regardless. Whether the boy was actually born a boy and turned into a girl is regardless. It's what does it look like now? Whatever it looks like now, that's what it is. So if it comes out and says that this is, and enough people agree and co-sign it, guess what? It's a girl. So now, in order for her to perpetuate this whole idea that this little boy is a girl, she got to keep him around other people who feel the same. You understand? So she's not bringing him to nobody in Carroll City, Liberty City. Dwayne Wade ain't worried about his son even being around any other real black people like that.
Right.
He only going to be around only other brain dead,
crazy
black folk who are celebrities that don't have no integrity, that will do anything on screen for money. You know what I'm saying? They will do anything. They have no integrity. So why are we looking at these people as the basis of leadership? Black people are the only people in the world who look at entertainers to tell them what to do in terms of their social structure. You understand? Anybody looking for business tips from Jay-Z is a damn fool. Anybody going to business tips to fucking Cardi B or even Russell Simmons.
Right.
The people who they have told you is the most successful in the black community is the brokest, man. They not going to give you no. That's why they'll tell you about Russell Simmons and Jay-Z, and they'll tell you about this one. But ask a nigga about Byron Allen and what's happening with his case right now. Niggas don't know nothing. But I get you. They'll tell me when Tekashi about to get out.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
But the Byron Allen case is about to change the face of telecommunications forever concerning black people, black folk, and he did it based on a national a national platform. This is why you don't hear about it. This is why black people ain't talk about it. All these black podcasts will talk about it. Not many. If nobody.
True.
Why? Why? Because you ain't got enough money. Because certain niggas is, regardless to whether he got and what he did, certain niggas is not going to let you put a dress on them. Certain niggas is not going to let you raise their children as boys. Some niggas is going to be around you. Like Dwayne Wade can only be around people that are going to co-sign that. So that means to tell me you a real nigga, you're going to be around these dudes and you're going to stand there and watch this dude show out and do like this and be like this and have no opinion whatsoever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, after you Dwayne Wade, what guys is you hanging around?
Yeah, but he don't got no integrity, man.
Yeah,
I mean, none of these guys do. The closest you make it maybe is LeBron. Maybe.
Yeah, you know, they used to say the woman wear the pants. Now they say the man wearing the dress of the house. You know.
That's right. That's right. Because these Negroes will do it anything for $1. This nigga Jaden Smith said, "Oh well, I will for $5 million. They gave me $2 million. I'd have put a penis on my forehead if they for that amount of money." That shows me how much of a failure Will and Jada is if they raise them kids at all.
Right.
I'm not convinced she's a dude. I'm not convinced that's a female just because it looked like one. You know what I'm saying? Like I just because this is what's been marketed to you don't mean that that's what it is. maybe the reason why our men and our women are so equidistantly messed up is because they have actual females born to males trying to be men, trying to give us a warped sense of masculinity, and then they're doing the same thing to the female. Maybe that's what's happening. And maybe now they're just calling it transgender, but don't think that transgenderism started in the last 5 years. They've been doing this since Mount Areopagus in 67 AD BC, my nigga. Like, they've been on this.
What was the name?
It's the whole concept of transgenderism and all of that derives or delves from an old practice that these pagans would deal with, and they were called Areopagites.
Mm-hmm.
Areopagites would meet at a place called Mount Areopagus, and they would get up there and they would do crazy, insane ritual rites like cutting their penises and stuff off, all to glorify the inverted androgyny god we call Attis, or they call Attis. Attis. Attis is the model, or the symbol of Attis is the symbol. Well, before I get to that, so they would get up there and at Mount Areopagus, they would do all these crazy sexual satanic rituals and stuff like that, but they couldn't stay amongst the normal people. Even in Rome, these niggas was so depraved that the Romans wouldn't even let them come and live there. You understand? So you got to know that they was wilding. And so they, to make money, these Areopagites or these Areopagites would put on plays that eventually came to be called pageants, right? Like beauty pageants. And so the Areopagites would put on the pageants where the women would dress like the men would dress like the women. They would cut off their penises, cut off the breasts, do all this type of stuff, all this spectacle, and then eventually people throw a little money at them or whatever, and then they would kick them back out and have them go back up to the mount. So eventually one of the big Areopagites was a priest, I forget his name, but he was kind of known in Rome, whatever. And when he chose to be down with it and tried to come back down and live as a Roman, the Romans said, no, you can't live amongst us now because you are not a man anymore. And according to Roman law, you have to have a gender, you have to have an heir, a masculine sense in order for the land to pass to you. Now think about that. That basically says that in order for you to have a line of succession in your family, because that's how real world law works. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Real world law says if you're not blood kin and you're not blooded in, then you can't be anything with the family.
Right.
Not this new stuff saying that, oh, whatever you feel like you are is what you are, except if you want to have a different nationality other than what I give. So you can change your sex, but you can't change your race. No. If you do it to one, you got to do it to all. You see? And the problem is, blacks forgot that the key to it all is the unification around the idea. So like I said, the Areopagites got together, and when they found that in Roman law, they couldn't do that. Meaning if you cut your penis off, you cease to be a man. But isn't the United States under Roman law? Yes.
Right.
It is. So that means when you become a transgender and you go and you petition to have the gender removed from your documentation, right? That now means that whatever property exists really in actuality belongs to the state, because under the Roman canon law that they're still under, they say that they cannot give anything to somebody that is not a gendered recognized male or female. So really, this whole transgender thing is about getting y'all niggas to give up all of your land rights, all of your property rights, all of your inherent rights, all for the sake of you feeling like you're something opposite. When, on paper, transgenderism is still listed as a mental illness.
Woo!
It's called gender dysphoria. Look it up. Or gender dysmorphia. Whatever it is. But regardless, it's still a mental deficiency that has now been legally recognized. So if you're going to legally recognize that sexual deviant deficiency, right, based on self-mutilation, because that's what it is. They're also underreporting the fact that they saying that there's a report I read in some magazine or something, and they were saying that amongst the children, that there's a huge misrepresentation of children who have actually gone through the transgender thing and have actually now wanted to go back. They say there's more of them trying to reverse their shit than actually get their shit done. Think about that.
Damn. That's horrible.
And now, to top it off, they're going to get Billy Porter to play Cinderella. And they're going to get Lee Daniels to remake Spook Who Sat by the Door. So get ready for the hero in that movie, Uncle Tom, to be what? To either be gay or trans or bi or have a white mother or, you know what I'm saying, be molested as a child. It's going to be something, because that's what Lee Daniels do. These men hate black men. They hate Asiatic people. They hate melanated people. That's why they'll do anything to pervert our image. Because that is what they get rewarded for, not their talent. Nobody has actually made money off their talent probably since the late 70s, bro. Everybody that's making money is making money off of what clique they down with, what God they serving, and who they selling out. Think about it. How did Jay-Z come up? Did Jay-Z come up by himself? Or did he come up with Chi from Original Flavor? And then from him, he went on to Irv. And then from Irv, went on to Kane. And then from Kane, went on to this one. And then from this one, went on to Dame. And then from Dame, went on to Leo. And then from Leo, went on to Perez. Think about it. But this is a great businessman? This sound like a hoe to me. This sound like somebody who, whoever got money, whoever popping, this is who I'm going to be around.
Right.
But then I watch people like Nori and the rest of these niggas suck these guys off, man. It's like one big fluff fest where if you even mention this guy or mention somebody in that, it's like nobody can have an opinion about nothing. Nobody can not like nobody. You got to like everybody. But if you do that, you're not a man.
Right.
You can't be a man and get along with everybody.
Yeah, man. I think I grew up listening to Nori, man. It's like Nori, man. He's got that deal, so he's siding with the other side now.
CNN, man.
Yeah, but then if you come and tell him that, then he's gonna act like you
yeah, like I'm tripping.
Like I'm tripping. How can I be tripping when I'm looking at exactly what's happening?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they want you to not believe your lying ass eyes.
I've been watching Drink Champs, man. I mean, you know, it was cool at the beginning. It was
more fluff, bro.
It was cool at the
beginning. I've actually
beginning.
been to a taping.
Okay.
I was actually at the taping with Redman when Redman was doing shit. I was there with him. Took a picture with him and all that. One of my heroes in rap. I ain't post that picture yet, man. I can't. It's something when people who you grew up idolizing, you know what I'm saying, look like the opposite of where you would think they should be at this point in their life. And it's not a judgment, it's more of an assessment. Like, it can't be this, you can't be on it like this, man, and still be. But then again, you can, because these guys were never encouraged to really be themselves. They were encouraged to keep it real. You understand?
Right.
It's a difference.
It's a big difference, man.
It's a difference, man.
You gotta use the change, man. It's a big
You gotta
difference.
know who you are first before you get into any cycle. Before any cycle you get into. So that means regardless to what's happening in that cycle, you're always going to be with you. You're always going to have your head on the swivel. But nah, these people want you to give up everything with reckless abandon and just be whatever these guys want you to be for them. With no promise of security, no promise of community protection. Everybody celebrating your man Tyler Perry for this big giant thing that he did with the what is it?
Yeah, he got the new facility. I mean,
yeah, $250 million theater or whatever. He's the first black man to ever do it. No, he wasn't. Nigga, this is what I mean with Negroes, man. They're so quick to jump off somebody who really is not down for them. How was he the first one when Oscar Marceau was the very first one to have a studio and a production company and a distribution company and all of that at a time when they was literally riding niggas' backs down the street. How was he able to do that? How come we ain't talking about him? Matter of fact, let's bring it closer. Tim Reed, Venus Flytrap from WKRP in Cincinnati. If y'all remember that show, I'm dating myself, but
Right.
if you remember that show, he opened up a film studio, black owned in 1997. Anybody talking about that?
Yeah,
Ain't
Tim
nobody
Reed.
crying at that. Yeah, Tim Reed.
Yeah, ain't nobody talking about that, man.
He ain't even got a lot of bread, but he did something. But ain't nobody hollering at him, and him and Oscar Marshall ain't had to put no dress on to do it.
To do it. I hear you on that.
But because they didn't put dresses on, as to why we got to big up Tyler Perry. You see?
Well,
Because the goal is we need every young black man and black woman to think that it's okay. You can do anything to make money. You can be anything to anybody and everything. You can play any role to get money.
Put on the
That's
dress.
what-
Yeah.
That's the type of black people they want. Wanton slaves that don't even have sense enough to identify who they are based upon the gender they were born as. These crackers that got black people acting like there's 75 different genders out here. Get the fuck out of here, man. It's a lie. It's a lie. None of that is true. There's only 2 genders on the planet. And anybody telling you the difference is worshiping the devil.
right.
Period. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care if you feel a way. Oh, you're not making it comfortable. It doesn't matter. I don't care what you think. If you
right.
think that way, you're not the type of person I want to be around anyway. There's a reason. And so what they want to do, because we black males, we're the problem. We just won't all bend over and take it. Yeah, a lot of us is going down for it, but there's more of us against it than with it. And so they're using the ones that's with it to make the rest of us feel like we not, like something wrong with us. I just saw this whole Adam Ruins Everything show, and this nigga was talking about how everybody got herpes and it's okay.
I was looking at that. I was looking at that. What was that? I was looking at that like.
When and what
Adam Rowan.
point was that ever okay in the hood? Never, because it's never okay to have herpes. I don't give a damn what Adam say. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn what anybody say, because all of this academic learning and stuff that they giving people is refractured, repackaged, reframed information that we gave them, that they regurgitated, gave back to us.
Gave
And
back
we
to us.
parroting it like the shit is true. No, it's not. It's not. Jay-Z has no integrity. Beyonce has no integrity. Because if they did, they wouldn't do half the shit they did. But I'm using them as an example because that's the example that everybody else used. So everybody else can use them as examples for opulence and this and that. But now it's starting to look like this nigga's a straight sellout. Because he is.
It's all coming
Because
out.
he is. Which means he always was. It wasn't like niggas just turn into sellouts. You've always been one. You know what I'm saying? Like you've always been that. We're just accepting it now. And there's still black people that ain't accepting that. But the ones I see that's not accepting it is usually the ones who feel like there's a whole section of folks who feel like if they say something negative about one of these people, when and if they ever meet them in life, they're gonna know and not be their friend. This is the level of the game, bro. And I'm talking about conscious people that's doing videos and shit like this out here today think like this. Oh, I can't say nothing about that because, then if we try to do something, nigga.
You ain't gonna fuck with me.
That's what I'm saying, man. They done turn brothers into whole hoes. So if this is what black masculinity is going to be in the new millennium, I must not be that. I can't be black. I can't.
Yeah, they making this new masculinity thing to where, like, you know what I'm saying, masculinity means accepting anything and everything.
But masculinity means that they're trying to now say
Change the
that
just code.
you are the black man. Because see, black toxic black male masculinity is really what it is. But really what it is that black men are the original archetype of masculinity. We are the archetype of masculinity. We are the basis by which other men dignify themselves. The only reason why Chinese and the rest of these niggas, these other races of men feel that they're more superior to us because we're not organized. But it was not always like this. And it wasn't like this maybe 243 years ago, which is not a long time ago. And they are scared to death that we wake back up to who and what we are. So they got to perpetually put it out there. They got to pervert our line. They got to get... Look, there's a black woman. There's a dude named DJ Kid.
Yeah. I was looking at the dude. I had him on here. DJ Kid.
100 black women. 600.
Oh yeah. I've heard
black chicks.
Right.
600 of them. Gave them all AIDS, which means that they
On
all
purpose.
don't become raw dog.
Purposely.
Each one of them kids.
Here you go, right here. I got the image of him for it here.
600 women, black women, right?
Mm-hmm. 600
black women. Each one of them women, them 600 women, then have sex with another
Look
black
at him.
woman, right? Now, each one of these black kids, women that done this with this nigga, went home, had sex with their baby father, whoever else, then kissed their kids. Now, they kids got it. They now pass it on to somebody else. You see what I'm saying? They little auntie, they grandmother, they this. This nigga was a biological weapon put into the hood, and who was it targeted to? Black
Us.
Woman. Yeah, you're right.
No, black women.
Yeah.
Woman, yeah.
Because they've engendered black women to make themselves believe that white boys is attracted to them all of a sudden. This is the new shit. Because when I was growing up, the black women that did that type of stuff was usually
nasty.
the ones that most ostracized and not fucking with. Black women don't find no white man attractive like that.
Nah, it's nasty. Yeah, it has some bread or something.
Yeah, I ain't fucking
They
white
do.
boys.
It's probably
Man.
some issue with the father or the mother. It's an archetypical issue that they are playing out and trying to redo. If you are with this man and you believe that you're a black woman and he believes that he's a white man, you are not in a real relationship. Because y'all still are in a color-based system in which you are going to function under what the parameters of that archetype dictate.
Definitely, yeah.
And it dictate that the white man is the one with the money, the black chick is the one behind him. She's coming up off of him. Just like if it's a black man with a white woman, he technically is coming up off of her, unless he's the type of black man, so-called black man, that has told himself some bullshit like, oh, well, I can't deal with black women because they only, and they this, and they that. That's how women think.
Mm-hmm.
They got you already thinking like a girl, nigga, so it's good that you with this chick. I'm starting to be happy about it.
And you know what's so alarming? They still got this guy Facebook open. Usually on something like this, they'd take it down. You know what I'm saying? Because he here with all type of celebrities. You got him with all type Young Thug.
I got a picture of him with Hillary Clinton. So what does that say? This is a Democratic National Committee
with Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, they put him in the neighborhood. Yep, talking to black women.
I got a picture of him and Hillary Clinton together. So this nigga's coming from up top.
He's with right here. He got pictures with my man. What's my man? Black Ink.
Oh,
Yeah, guy, he got pictures with all of them. DJ Kid. And what is
there? You go, right there, Black Ink.
And what is a kid? A kid is a baby goat, right?
Wow.
Is a Lucifer the goat?
Man,
yes.
That's crazy.
And so these black women.
Look at him. Yeah, he with Ric Flair. He got Ric Flair on here.
600. You understand? Not 60, not 6. You know what I'm saying? Not 6, not 60. 600 chicks let this dude bone them raw.
Oh, black
in the strip club. And if you look at the black women, it's the majority of regular, like, hood chicks, dark-skinned women.
In the hood,
That's who they are targeting to destroy, because that's the knowledge seed. Because they done messed up black men so much in the head that they see a dark-skinned woman and don't see what they really looking at. You're really looking at eternity, nigga. That's the one thing that's why when a cracker get with a black bitch, he get with the darkest one he can find, because he know.
Look at him.
But these dumb niggas, these dumb black so-called Negropeans who have been miseducated and educated through the talent and tenth system,
I'm on his Facebook right now, fans right now. This is his Facebook, and he was a promoter.
Yes, out here in Andalus, in Miami.
Miami, South Carolina, Alabama. He's been all over.
Yeah, but don't think that
Kaya
was the only ones he was boned. Like I said, he boned these 600 women. These 600 women
Trina?
went back to the black community.
He hanging on
and
everybody
poisoned
in.
them. So that means basically 6 out of every 10 chicks that you see out here in Miami is probably with the monster. Probably
who is this white chick? He with the He got pictures of the governor, Nikki Haley.
I told you, because this is an agenda. He was sent to do this.
Woo.
Behind the Democratic Party, most likely. Because the Democratic Party was founded by the KKK.
Look at this, fans.
Y'all hear that, y'all?
Okay, let's keep it real, but
Y'all
they
hear
know
that?
better than the Republicans that's there now. These Republicans that's there now is not the original Republicans, because the original Republicans were Moors. And they all got deposed after that whole shit happened with the taking over the Congress and the military takeover in 1867. So everybody's under a military occupation right now, and has been since. So they're going to tell me that I'm everything else but what I am. And they're going to tell me that I'm supposed to look at this person, and this whole thing is about keeping the original man and the original woman apart. That's it. Everything else is circumstance. But the goal of this is we cannot afford these so-called black males and black females to have babies together and produce straight babies that when you see them, there's no doubt as to what they are. Okay? Niggas are scared. They scared to incarnate babies that look like them now. You understand? And the ones that are, you got niggas like Dwayne Wade now totally turning this nigga out and turning him into some other shit. Why? Because he's probably a girl. Okay? And you know why I know all of the shit I be saying is true? Because I've been talking this shit for over 20 years, and not one of these niggas ever came out trying to sue me and say anything I'm saying is not true.
This dude got pictures with R. Kelly.
I see, he been around then.
Apple don't fall from the tree, man.
Yeah, he been around then.
But nobody talking about this picture right here.
He been around.
Nah, they not gonna talk about that one, the one with R. Kelly, the one with the governor, the one with Hillary Clinton. This nigga is plugged in all the way, bruh. He been to the sex rituals, the sex orgies that happen out here every year at Art Basel. Don't let these niggas fool
He
you,
hit
bro.
the whole hood
And
up.
don't think that he was just boning females. He was
God
probably boning dudes out here, some of these rappers and
damn,
shit.
Hit the whole hood up, man.
Hey, Stevie J.
Everybody.
Anybody that you see standing next to that dude, most likely got it.
This is bad right here, fam.
Yeah.
Like I said, walk down the street in Miami now after this, every 6
Rich homie Quan.
out of every 10 females that you see probably was involved or affected by this dude, by that situation.
6 out
And
of
will
10,
be
y'all
for the
keep
next
talk.
probably 30 years. Because, you know, AIDS, the way that it work now, this shit be dormant. You don't even know you got
Yeah,
it.
dormant. It be dormant and then come back.
Yeah, they got time release AIDS now.
Time release AIDS.
Damn.
You understand?
True talk.
Yeah, but this
Shit, man.
That's crazy, man.
As you breaking it down and I'm breaking his pictures down, man, it's coming up as you
That's
say.
how I'm saying, God. All this shit is
Not
true.
all women,
Shit,
you
we've
know
been
what I'm
talking
saying?
about
He
all
done
these years
touched
from when we
everybody.
first started. It's all true. That's why nobody can come out and dispute it. That's why I could come out and say whatever I want. These niggas is not gonna come out and dispute nothing. The only people that have ever given me any issue about like me, my nationality being a more Moorish American is black people, man. It's always black people. White men don't tell me none of that. White man, Asian man, Indian man, these niggas don't give me no problems. The only niggas with a screw in their face when they see me be niggas. The same people that I'm out here putting information out for, but it ain't for them, it's for their children. It's for their children, if it ain't for their children,
Kelly
it's for their children.
rolling on here. That's some shit, yo.
They are all down with it.
Everybody
They
talking
all
about it,
down
man.
with it. They all go to the same rituals. They all sacrificing the same people. We think it's a joke. It's not. This is how these people make their living. You have people who make their living on kidnapping children every day. You understand? have people. These niggas will sit down in Kanye West's fake church, singing, having this nigga act like he playing the keyboard, he playing one note. And these niggas will pass a plate around talking about, give me $1,000. What? And then T.I. is gonna beef about it. But nigga, you win. What do you even there for? Because you got to be on TV, nigga. You see what I'm saying? It's not about that. I need to be on TV to show that I'm against it. Look, man, that's not how men was supposed. That's not how I was taught men deal with shit. But man don't deal with something, he don't deal with it. He don't put himself in place. My grandfather said, if you a man, you don't put yourself in no place you don't need to be.
Right.
And him being promoter, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, shit, he probably was supplying women all kind of stuff. I mean, I know he was. I ain't gonna say I think.
He's promoting the agenda more. He's passing the AIDS around. And so if it's 600, it gotta be more than that. If you fuck 600 chicks, it gotta be double. So let's say 1,200. Let's make it 1,200. Because it's gonna be that anyway with the trickle down theory. Everybody that they came in contact with.
All these pictures I'm looking, it gotta be 12. It gotta be more than that because he's with all the rappers. He's with all that. He's with all the women. He's with
Look at the complexion. See how most of the women is dark skinned?
They dark skin. You right.
You see, right? You don't see a lot of light skinned chicks him with. Dude, no, because he gonna go to the root because he know that the dark skinned black woman is the most messed up in terms of her self esteem. So me, the white man, I'ma come in and she gonna give me anything. And you know what? He's right.
Look at him. Dark skinned women all day.
Prove me wrong.
I'm scrolling through his Facebook right now, fam. We right here. Aseer the Duke of Cheers. Subscribe. Hit that like button. We right here. We on his Facebook. This is his Facebook.
We on these niggas' head. We on these niggas' head. These black folk be looking for excuses not to be about nothing more. They look for reasons not to say that what we saying is not true or we just hating it. No, bruh. It's beyond all of that now. Now it's to the point where saying yes to one instance of evil is saying yes to it all. When that black judge got off of that bench and hugged that killer and hugged that white killer while the other black woman, bailiff, is there fixing her little blonde hair, and then the other black man is there talking about if my brother was alive, he would have liked you. I would like to be your friend maybe one day. Do you understand what that was? That was the ultimate humiliation ritual for us as a race. That was a sign to everybody else in the world that, nigga, you can come over here and do anything to these niggas.
Bow
and they'll
down.
let you do it.
Bow down.
Because they have no respect or integrity or dignity or gumption to stand firm on something against what we want to do. Not one of these niggas. Killer Mike, all these niggas that talk that conscious shit, they all full of it. And if they not, holla at me, dog, at houseofl@hotmail.com. That's where I'm at now. It's like you gotta start telling the truth and shaming the devil, because these niggas will constantly come out here, give a little concert, do a little dance, and black people really think that these people is down with them, and half of these niggas is investing in private prisons.
Damn.
How about that? They ain't gonna tell you that though.
You ain't hear about that, sir.
And I ain't gonna tell you which rappers that are. Research it. Because I know.
I believe you, man. I believe you on that.
I'm not talking about y'all, I'm talking about the people. Like, you know the people. I've had people tell me like, oh, everything, you just be making shit up. Word? How am I making it up? And the brother is pulling the stuff up on the computer while I'm saying it.
Yeah, it's
That's
true.
how I know, more. That's how I know these Negroes want to go down with the ship. They want more people to like them than to like each other. They want to have more people admire and want to be them than to get they people to the point where everybody want to be us. You understand? This is how sick black people are. Brain dead sick. That's what made me think the whole Bartham Jean shit might have been a false flag op too. Might have been a psyop. Because what I'm noticing is whenever this thing goes down, whenever the police shoot and kill somebody, they always use the same 4 lawyers that never get these niggas no money. So why is it that everybody keep going to the same 4 black lawyers when they get killed? Why? They the only lawyers in the world?
Well, them lawyers, you know what I'm saying? Them lawyers is all part of the fraternity, right? You talking about merit? You talking about merit?
I'm saying that when any time in the past, however many shootings went down,
right,
and they start getting lawyers, and these black people will get lawyers to go handle their business or whatever, they always get the same 4 lawyers, man. And these lawyers ain't never get nothing for these niggas. And if
never
they do,
successful.
And if they do, I ain't heard about it. And then the next thing I'm noticing is how they're using this. The blacks is using this now. The ones that get their kid killed or whatever by pigs or whatever. Now the new shit is like they all going into politics now.
The kids.
So again, yeah, they going into politics. Like I think Trayvon Moms is running for Senate or somebody. One of these things. Some of these things.
Ah, come on now, man.
So now think about it, bro.
They're gonna be tied into the corruption.
We are supposed
Same
to have
corruption that killed the
same way
son.
the Indians have their own community, the same way the Wachapar have their own community, Chinese people, and everybody, nobody come to Chinatown, arrest the niggas, or like all of that. None of that happens. And I'm talking about all Chinatowns in the country. When the last time anybody that's been in jail has been in jail with somebody from Chinatown or Asian or Indian or Pakistani or somebody or Iranian or somebody like that? You don't. The only niggas you see in jail, blacks, whites, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans. That's it. Because all of them niggas is under colorable title. And all of them niggas is war to the United States.
You're right.
Whereas the other ones got nationalities. Chinese, if you was a Chinese national, you did something here in America and you got out, there's no extradition. They don't know what you do.
Yeah, ain't going nowhere.
You understand? But again, they ain't no better because they communists. People forget China is communist. So when you see Chinese people over here with millions of dollars and getting money and all that, you ain't never hear no Chinese people talk to you about what goes on in China. Never. Never. And they won't.
They keep that shit secretive.
Because the Chinese government that chipped all them niggas. All them niggas is chipped up.
Right.
You understand? The Chinese government has a sanction where they harvest at least 29 to 50 organs off a person a day. A day. For the people they got up in the camps there. You know the organs they taking them from? The dark-skinned Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
But the majority of China, the majority of people in China is actually Muslims. On the low.
Yeah, because they got the one Muslims that they did that they put in like concentration camps.
Yeah, they got them in straight concentration camp. They was called. They used to be the Ulars was there.
The who? The Ular?
And they did that to this group of people they call the Falun Gong. The Falun Gong, they did a whole purge of them back after the whole Tiananmen Square thing. What Chinese people don't even know what happened to Tiananmen Square. You talk to a Chinese person about that shit.
They cut the cameras off.
They don't even know that it happened. So you tell me how they could forget people and get people to reduce themselves on the bed? Tell me, please. Oh, it's only 8? Okay, good.
Yeah, they got the. I know it was the one video to where they got cameras everywhere in the Muslim territory of China.
Yeah, God. Yeah, God. They got them under pressure out there, and they harvest their organs because they don't eat pork or nothing like that. They burning their Qurans. They're making them burn their turbans. They hanging themselves with their turbans. They hanging them with their turbans. They nailing their feathers to their heads. They forcing the people, the women and the children and to eat pork. They doing it all, man. Then they killing them. Then they taking their organs. And nobody's saying nothing about this. This is a Muslim country. This
is going on right now.
Any Arabs saying
right now, y'all.
They ain't saying nothing right now in China. What's going on?
Shit like that.
Bruh, they went to the Saudi Arabian government and asked them if they had no problem. Saudi Arabia said, well, you got to do what you got to do. Because the Saudi Arabian government, the Saudi, they all Jews. Those were Wahhabi Jews. They're going to break Saudi Arabia up into 3 different sections, the same way they broke Sudan up into 2 sections. And they're going to let the Jews come in there. They letting them do it now. So again, that's not the Islam I practice. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not it. Like, the Islam I practice had nothing to do with any of that stuff. But again, we still basing what we think Islam is based on what somebody told you it is. You understand? Just like Christianity. Like, this ain't, look, the word Christ means crush, right? But it also means anoint, right? It means to anoint. So it means to crush, it means to anoint, right? Now
Right.
the word anoint, right, means to smear, right? But the word smear means to bear false witness against them all. That's the definition. Think about that more. Think about what I'm saying. So Christians, you see, when did Christianity really pop in what we talk about the modern era? It happened when we fell. And in order for them to control these blacks, what do they got to do? They got to keep giving them Jesus Christ. You understand? Because Jesus Christ is what, or Christianity is what allowed everybody to be homosexual. That's what allowed everybody to be in all-inclusive and pro-abortion and all this other shit. You understand? That's what gave them the right. That's what gives them the right to do all of this. That's why they've been working on dumbing down the world population through religion for all these years. But by the same token, that doesn't mean that the so-called text, the actual context in its proper context, is not true. It just means that it's been perverted and distorted and demented by insane people to make you think that the insanity is what it really is, and it's not.
Right.
Like I said, insanity is looking at somebody that killed your brother and saying that one day I would like to be your friend. Now, what black people they're going to use what? How they going to justify it? The only way to justify it is to use what? Christianity. See? Christianity. Turn the other cheek. See? See? Now it's all good. Now if I say that this dude is whack and he's a traitor to his own dead brother, now I look crazy because he's just being a good Christian. You see how it works?
Right.
You see how black people just give themselves the automatic out? That's why they kill them 2 and 3 a week. They don't care. Because they don't think like real, they don't think like rational people. They think the way that they've been domesticated to think. So the only way you can have real thick nappy hair is if you light skin. You understand? Like I take my son to the park, we play and stuff. I automatically know whose mama is white, whose mama is black by how the child hair done. So if I'm out there and I see a little light-skinned kid out there and he got wild, bungly locks and all that, his mama white. You know why? Because when I see the black women out there with their kids like that, they locks don't be like that. They be very tender, they be very done, they be very pulled back, they be very straight. You see what I'm saying? Be very done, be very controlled, very in. We don't want any hairs out of place. We can't look like what we are. Meanwhile, the white woman, fuck that. This kid don't even have shoes on. He just out here, hair wild. You know what I'm saying? No shoeless, out here every day. Nah, bro. We're playing ourselves. That's what it is.
Right, man.
We out here thinking that things is one way and they got everything else. Yeah.
Got us tricked.
And
Right.
everything that
Gotta
black
wake up
folk
out
do
here, y'all.
when you
Gotta
were
wake
not
up,
with
stay
it.
woke.
Like they think that they could be, and the thing is, also, let's stop fooling ourselves. Stop acting like you could be a little bit down with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't get a little wet when you jump in the pool, bro. You either wet or you're not. You're either this or you're that. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, if you are saying that you are about so-called black liberation and people coming up and doing what we gotta do, then that means you can't support people who support the opposite of that. Meaning that if you're saying that you're about the liberation of your people, like if I was out here spitting everything that I was spitting all these years, right? But if I was married to a white Caucasian woman, people would not take me seriously. Right. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because as great as Obama was to these Negroes, this nigga would not be president if Michael was not his wife.
Mike.
He would not have been elected if he was married to a white. You know why? Because nobody gonna trust him. White man will give him the role, but he's not gonna let him all the way into the sanctum. Because I gave you my woman, nigga, don't mean that I want. You know what I'm saying? I want you that close. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody knows that everybody feels more comfortable with their own archetype. Period. You don't never see a butterfly chilling with a bunch of flies. You don't never see a crow hanging with a bunch of pelicans. That's not what happens, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't never see that. And there's nothing wrong with having pride in the people that you come from and finding them more beautiful than anybody else. I don't give a damn what race or culture you come from. You're supposed to see your people as the best, not the worst.
Right, man.
Black people are the only people in the world who look at everybody else's race as to what they should be like but then won't do shit to save their own. That ain't nobody else's fault but ours.
Yeah, we have accepted so many races as our own. So many outside black people that's not us really, and we just brought them in.
They'll give up everybody. They'll make 12 years a slave, and they'll use the Nigerian dude. They'll make Harriet Tubman movie that's coming out now. They'll use the black chick from Britain who shitted on all of the black people here in America on Twitter, who dyes her hair blonde, married to a white man, but she could play an indigenous woman like Harriet Tubman. It's all good. They'll let Thandie Newton, another black woman married to a white man, play Nina Simone. You understand? And I'm sorry. If you feel like if you're the type of people, if people are listening, and I don't want to isolate people neither, because I really understand it from the perspective that I'm really speaking from the perspective that there is no race. None of that shit exists. But because niggas feel it exists, you gotta talk to them from the perspective to show them how what they think exists don't by using the fact that they believe it. It's crazy. But you can't be out here all about the black liberation for your people, and then you go home to Becky or to Tom, Tamron Hall. I don't give a damn how much you love a black man. That's not what you show me when you show up with Tommy on your arm. What that says to me is that you're one of these people who finds beauty in the opposite. Where I'm a person who finds beauty in my own archetype. Is one better than the other? In my opinion, yes. Because if I'm always looking at somebody to be more beautiful than me, then how am I ever going to appreciate the beauty that Allah has given me? Mugabe said, you cannot do nothing to make no black woman happy. If they're not happy with the things that God gave them, they're not happy with their God-given lips, their God-given behind, their God-given eyes, they eyelashes, they nails, they this, they that. If God can't make them happy, what make you think you can? But why are they not happy? Because they have not accepted their own archetype. They still out here shaving their own head to put on wigs. Meanwhile, the wigs that they getting is coming from little girls who have been forced to grow their hair, and as much as they love it, they're forced. Look at some of these tapes. Look at some. They have it. Where they show where the weaves come from, where they go get it from the little girls. These girls will grow their hair. Dark skinned girls too. It's always the dark skinned Indian ones too, the Dravidian ones, because they're the ones that's the most destitute out there, unfortunately, based upon the caste system that exists out there with them Indians treating everybody that's darker than them like shit. And then they come over here and act like they still not on that, but I know, because I see them. Grow their hair down to they damn near feet. Then these girls gotta go into a big place and then they just shave their heads, bro. Some girls run away. Some of these girls have even been killed because their parents have promised the hair to the hair people who get them or whatever. And then when the girls don't show up or run away or whatever, they find a girl, they kill the girl, cut the little girl head off to take their hair. And then you're gonna sew that shit into your head and expect to be okay and expect to have real thoughts and expect to be able to be loved and all that? No, because we think that we think the way that we've been domesticated to think, oh, well, white women could do it.
Start from the head, man.
That's right, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We've been brainwashed with the Brazilian, the Malaysians,
and all of them is sticking silicone in their behinds, in their breasts, in their lips, in their cheeks, in their chins to look more like the black woman. So she trying to look like them, they all trying to look like her. So who's really at fault?
I was overseas. Now they doing over in Europe. I was in Spain. I was over in Valencia, and some of my classmates was talking about how over I want to say over in Eastern Europe they using like a darkening injection, an injection to darken their skin.
Yes.
And I couldn't believe it. Back this was in 2014.
They're doing that here. It's called melatonin.
The skin soap.
Yeah, there's adding color to it. And I was like, man, they ain't adding color. Man, get the hell out of here, man. I ain't never heard no shit either.
They actually are ingesting, they are extracting. They got a thing in Holland where they developed this thing where they can rub this thing on the back. You know, like you could actually peel your melanin off of your dermis. Where you like peel off paint, like off a wall. Imagine that, but it be your body. They got that out now.
Damn.
What you think the crackers doing with that melanin when they peel it off? Where you think it's going? They eating it, they putting it on their skin, they doing it all. Just like all the crackers doing all the crimes, wearing the black masks. You heard about that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hundreds of crimes every year, average. Look it up in the FBI database. Crimes perpetuated with black mask by white males wearing black masks. It's in the tens and thousands. They doing this. But they can do that because we've allowed ourselves to be criminalized, and there's a 10% aspect of our people in our communities that's down with it. They namely are referred to as celebrities. And I feel like every celebrity down with it in some way, form, or fashion. And the ones that ain't is not celebrities no more. So either way, it don't matter.
Wow. I got some pictures right now. Some white people with the melatonin injections. Like, god damn.
Can't
Now,
even
where
tell.
do you think
Look
the
out.
melatonin coming from? Where's the melatonin coming from for them to ingest it? Because, you know, that's what they take to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So where's they getting it from? How is it that melanin is $3.18 a gram? I think it's more. It's like maybe $3.43 now. A gram. How do you get enough melanin to weigh it? Where is it coming from?
How is it getting hold to it?
You see what I'm saying, more?
Mm.
And there's nothing in any black community. I don't give a damn if you're a Hebrew, a Moor, a Christian, a Nation of Gods and Earths, whatever you call yourself. You don't have nothing in your community right now to launch private investigations, to create community watch programs, to make sure all of your children come home every day. You don't have that in play. You know why? Because in order to do it, in order to create a neighborhood watch, you know what you got to do? You got to go register with the same people destroying the neighborhood, the police. And then, let's say if you get one popping like that, you always going to get one sellout nigga. What's he going to do? He going to go tell the police that you got your own little police force. popping. Now these niggas want to come knock down your door and take your guns and all of that because you actually doing what you're supposed to do for your own people. When I say that in 1933, when they took everybody's ability to pay their own debts away, and this is why the world is where it's at, this is why I'm saying the debt was not just in the money. It's the societal debt. We have debts to society that we're supposed to pay. There's a debt in society that says that if you are injured, you have the right to remedy. You have a debt in society that says if somebody run up in your house trying to kill you and do something, you got the right to defend yourself. You got police that's walking up in people's houses and shooting them for no reason. And you mean to tell me, and you still want to tell me, that not all police are bad? You still want to tell me that? How can you be a good person in a bad situation? How can you be a good person in an evil organization? How can you do that? But that's what I mean. They got black people thinking you can be everything. You could be a Crip and a Blood. You could be a Moor and a Freemason.
You can be it all nowadays, man. You can be whatever.
Yeah, you could be everything. So long as you don't claim one thing. So they want you to be a jack of all trade and a master of none. No. I was taught, you speak when you're spoken to. I was taught, keep your thoughts to yourself until you know what you're talking about. I was taught, don't tell everybody your business. I was taught, don't tell nobody you're having a baby till the 6th month. I was taught, you know what I'm saying? Certain shit I was taught.
Rules to the game, right? Yeah. Yeah, certain rules to the game, man.
So screw these dudes, bro. Like in the end, your people is the people that conscript with what you down with and what y'all doing. So if you got a nice little core network of people, you build with them. Stop trying to get all black people to get together because they're not going to do it. Because there's no such thing as black people. That is a figment of our imagination, of a nightmare that we've been experiencing for the past 243 years. There's no such thing as an African American. There's no such thing as a black American. There's no such thing as a black person. There's no such thing as a white person. There's no such thing as a nigger, Negro, black, colored, Indian. There's no such thing as any of those things. Those things don't exist. Even in India, them people in India is not even called that. That's the corporate name that their colonizing British gave them. If they really want to be independent, then they would go back to calling themselves Hindus. Or calling it what it was, which was Hindustan. But then that would mean what? Because India is the majority, again, is what you call it? Is like Sikhs and Hindus and all that. But then there's a huge Muslim population. But the British came in and split up Hindustan into Pakistan and India. And then the Indians, the Muslims, and then they forced a war between the two of them. And they still banging on each other. But one thing one thing that the Hindus unify on is always shitting on the darker skinned people in their communities. Why? Because the British came and switched up all of that stuff with the gods, with Lakshmi and Kali and Krishna and all that. How you don't like dark skinned black people, but all of the main oldest deities that they worship is jet black? How does that work? It don't. Because when you are under mind control, shit don't got to make sense. You just do what you told.
I got a picture right now of the Indians going from light to from dark to light.
That's right. That's right, more because again, more they messed up their caste system. They got them in the caste system. They treated black people so bad out there that they used to tie brooms to the back of their belts, so when they walk, the broom would wipe away their footprints. Damn. That's how sick Indian, these Hindustan people or whatever.
These are the real Indian people right now, and then some of them is darker than the people watching.
Those are the real Indians. Those are the Dravidians.
Those
are the ancient Dalits. The word delete comes from the word Dalit.
Look at the baby over there.
Dark.
Look like some of your babies right there. And then we in India right now.
Because those are the Sentinelese, the Jawaran people, the original people, like the so-called Indian people you see today. Those are the interlopers. They are the descendants of the very, very dark ones. The ones that they call Dravidians, that they call Dalits, that that's at the bottom of the caste, because they used to be at the top. Till the British came, then the British flipped it and enforced the colorism thing with them. India is the second largest consumer
Look at them now.
of cream in the world.
Them the new Indians. I got the picture of the light Indians.
You see them, right? Yeah. Just like the Japanese. This has happened on every continent on the planet, more. Look up the ancient Tasmanians. The Caucasians came, wiped them out. Then created a cartoon called the Tasmanian Devil to make fun of him after he did it. Wiped out the original Tasmanians. They darker than all of us. Because the closer you go from the archipelago going to the east, so going from Japan to Australia, you go from light to dark. From Australia to Japan, you're going to go from dark to light. Because that's how they started to bleach us out and strip up everybody.
I got the pictures of the ancient Tasmanians right here. The ancient Tasmanians, look at them.
Thank you. You see?
Oh, yeah.
Now pull up the Tasmanian Devil, the cartoon, and you see how they played us. How many of us grew up watching the Tasmanian Devil, laughing at that shit?
Everybody,
now
man.
understanding that there was a genocided race. Then the devil, white Australians created what was called the Fauna Act, in which they declared that all the Aboriginals was not human. And they created this act to be, and said that they were basically on the level of fauna. They were basically like nature's furniture, to be used however they want. And then they created a cycle that every year a baby was born, they would come in and steal the babies from people. This is white people doing this. You understand? To Asiatic, dark-skinned people. You understand? So this is the only way their race could actually ascend to the level it's at now. By getting us to pervert ourselves for the past 243 years. And now nature has reached an all-time high and everything is rebelling back on them. And the only people that's trying to keep these niggas here is our people, bro. All the sellout darkies from whatever race, whether it be Asian or black or African or whatever. All of y'all that's falling in love with these dudes, all of y'all that like being the only one, you know that one black person that like being the only black person around white people, and then when you come around, he start throwing salt and shit on you. You know that dude. You know that chick. That's the same chick that when you go to the DMV or wherever you're going, that's the same black woman giving you all the problems and shit. We done all had that experience. How is it how does it they archetype that type of person?
Always.
How is it? No, they got to be that because they created things in the black community to be able to get black people to be constantly against themselves and create a whole section of our race, of our people, that is there to only support Caucasian people. That's what the black HSBUs was set up for. That's what they were set up for. That's why the only people that learn in black history now in them HSBCUs is white people. White people's going to Howard and these things for free now. They using the reverse affirmative action that you was using to go to Harvard. Why? Because more black kids now is going to the white schools. There's more black kids graduating from Harvard and all of that than Howard and Spelman and all this shit. Why? Because anything that white, because the definition of black means, one of the definitions means that you want to be white.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the definitions of black. Someone who wants to be white. So if you put yourself in that position, I'm black, I'm white, I'm this, I'm that, you've already, you in the maze. You in the maze with the rats, bro. So you need to keep your head down and stay in that. Don't start looking up and looking at people that's actually outside of the maze and trying to comment on what we doing. Because we not with it. But you got to love freedom as a Moor. You got to love freedom so much that if your people's freedom means that they want to be slaves, then you got to support that in them. So I support Negroes that want to be slaves. I support Negroes that want to be sellouts and shit like that. I support Negroes that make comments like, I don't date black women. Or I don't date black men anymore. Because what you're doing is letting me know exactly who you are. And when the shit goes down, we need to know who them people are, where they at. You understand?
Exactly.
Because those are the people, those are the ones that wind up snitching on a revolution. Those are the ones that wind up snitching on the leader or whoever. Those are the ones. Because they've been bred, because they have a vested interest in keeping Satan on earth. So again, if they're not talking to you about your birthright, they're not talking about your higher self, which is God or whatever you want to call it. If they're not talking about God, birthright, inheritance, nationality, estate planning, anything like that, they're your enemy, man. If you got a bunch of niggas telling you, yo, you need to go get a job, instead of saying shit like, yo, bro, you ever think about starting a business? Those are your enemies, man. Because white folks is not encouraged to get jobs. White folk just got them. So they don't need them. So white folks is automatically encouraged to run businesses. When a white man open a business, his business be like Finkelstein and Sons, or Rubenblatt and Associates,
Right.
or Stephen Cronenberg and Jettison.
Yeah,
Right?
they came with the Sons and Associates. Yeah, because they look for the
Right.
future.
When they set up businesses, that's how they set up. When black folks set up businesses, what the business called? Fresh Cuts. Dope Gear.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? Dope Gear. Magic City. Or you understand what I'm saying? Like
Right.
some nondescript shit, G's up. Like this is the type of shit we doing, and we wondering why we ain't getting nowhere.
You're right, man.
Your power is in your legacy, man. What you leaving for the next one? Our generation before us, most of us, especially when we got knowledge of self, most of our families cut us off. Why? Why would you do that? When I'm supposed to get better. If your generation was a generation of sellouts, and then my generation came in and we trying to challenge and not be that, you would think that the sellout generation would want the non-sellout generation to do what they couldn't do.
Proof.
No.
Yeah.
No. No. These niggas want to keep this thing as low as possible. Tyler Perry gonna make a movie in that studio that's gonna actually make you look like you're in a positive position, that you are somebody that has character and mental adept outside of a drug dealer, a hoe, a pimp, a rapper, a basketball player, a drug dealer, a criminal. You think he gonna make a movie like that? Nope. You're gonna get as many niggas to put dresses on as possible, and these niggas gonna be lined up around the corner to put them on. So, again, man, when you're on a certain level of clarity, all that can do to some of our people make them more confused. Some people don't even like it. Don't even be what I'm saying. It's the fact that I just feel so comfortable to say certain shit as to why people don't like it. They can't dispute what I'm saying. I had this dude the other day, somebody sent me a thing, he went in on me. Some guy on YouTube or whatever went in, calling me all types of names, this and that, all of that. But it's easy for these pussy niggas to talk like that on the internet.
You're right. You
say all kinds of shit.
We're dealing with PlayStation, the PlayStation generation. I mean,
all kinds of
they but I just bring this up to say he went all that, saying all that, but none of it is about what I'm saying.
Nothing.
None of it is about the information or anything I put out. None of it can be disputed.
The kids call that trolling. The kids call that trolling.
Right, but I don't do these things from the perspective of wanting to be right.
Right.
I put this stuff out because I wanted to know. And once I verified that it's true from 10 different sources, that's it.
That's it.
That was
Now,
good.
if you want to try to prove it that it's not true, or you try to make it like something's wrong with me, this is what black people do. They take it out of what the actual content is, the information is, and bring it to you personally based on how you dress. This nigga was talking about like my clothes. Like he sounded gay. He sounded like a gay guy. He sounded like a gay guy that was hating on a guy that wasn't into.
A lot of them is man. They grew up drinking a lot of soy and microwaving all their foods and stuff. So
Exactly.
I mean,
They got to the hell.
Got to the
But I
ass, yeah.
but I bring that up to say that so long that is an example of the energy that keeps us stagnant. Because this man don't know me. You know what I'm saying? This person don't know half the shit that we be building on is so accurate. And I know it bugs these people out that we're speaking of, that's when they listen to it and in it, because they like, well, damn, I don't even know this nigga. How does he know? Because the elder told me, if a more don't know, don't nobody know.
Well, I know a lot of the feds, they got a lot of people right now trolling. They hiring trolls right now.
Yeah, they all on the internet, man.
That's what
Check it out.
Facebook is.
Yep, all on the net.
That's what Facebook is.
Yeah,
It's one little troll site for the CIA. They said, look, we spending millions of dollars on surveillance.
It'd be a guy from Springfield, Ohio, trolling you about your neighborhood. He done Google mapped your neighborhood and say he stay on. He done Google mapped your neighborhood.
They together and they said, how can we subsidize? We spending way too much money on surveillance. People breaking these cameras up whenever they see him. What can we do? In walks your man, Zuckerberg, who is really Greenberg. That's really his real name. He's actually a Rothschild. Y'all don't know. Mark Zuckerberg is actually real name is Mark Greenberg, and he's actually a direct descendant, third cousin removed from Rothschild. So he's right there with him, and he's married to a Chinese national who may or may not be a part of the Chinese secret service.
Yeah, I'm like, out of all the money he married this.
Yeah, but that's China, because you know Rothschilds deal with China. The Bank of China is Rothschild.
Okay. Now, why did he marry? I was wondering why he married this Chinese lady, like out of the blue.
Rothschild is trying to hook up with the Chinese. The Chinese is trying to take over Africa so they can wage their war against the U.S. in Africa and not have to worry about them fighting in the South Pacific. That's why Africa, the African Union is a joke and what they doing, whatever, because we're their biggest resource. We're not even African. But we're actually their biggest resource because of their nationality and whatever the African nation they're coming from. Whereas you, that's born here, you can't get that. Because everybody is living off of our inheritance so long as we stay under the second-class citizenship, which is the Negro black color. That's what it is. And the people who want to keep us in that are the people that you look at as your leaders or of consciousness or success or whatever in mainstream today. If they're not talking about, hey, I just bought this island and I want to bring all my black people here to live so we can have something just for us. If they not saying that, they down with it. Elijah Muhammad, they never talk about integrating with nobody. Elijah Muhammad said, no, we need our home. We need to be away from you. And he's right. Because so long as we living with them, good luck trying to find whoever shot your whatever pig killed your parents or shot your son or your daughter. Good luck in the bank foreclosing your situation. Good luck on the police framing you for whatever. Good luck for all that, because if you're going to go and get remedy, who you going to go to? You're going to go to the same people that's framing you. That's like going to your rapist and accepting a dress from him after he ripped yours up. How you expect to get remedy by the police when it's the police who's shooting and killing you? Then black folk join the police and they become even more white supremacist than the police that's there. Or they just let the white supremacy shit go down and don't say shit. And the ones that do get targeted. Yeah. So you don't have your own infrastructure. You don't have your own means of production. You don't have your own means of accountability. You don't have your own means to educate your own children. You don't have that, but yet and still we represent $51 trillion of buying power. How does that happen? You see what I'm saying?
Right. Spending, yeah.
51, whole bunch of niggas selling out. And the rest of us trying to make sense of it. And because we don't want to step out on the plank ourselves, we trying to figure it out from the sidelines. And it's never going to happen.
Come up. Yep.
We are never going to have anything happen by building on Facebook. We are never going to have anything happen by talking about what we're going to do on YouTube.
Right now, I got a picture of Mark Zuckerberg's wife, Chan, Priscilla Chan.
Yep. Priscilla. What Chinese? That ain't your real name, Priscilla. Her name is really like Wang Yang or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's the other thing. Wang, Li. A lot of these names, a lot of them be Jews. Chinese on the low. Because I told you one of the original plans of Israel was they was going to set it up in Manchuria.
Mm-hmm.
And the Chinese was going to help them do that. Because Mao Zedong is a Jesuit. Mao Zedong was a Jesuit. W.E.B. Du Bois, all these people, bruh. Meanwhile, the dude that was running the war against the United States, Chiang Kai-shek, he was a Garveyite. Which may explain why the Vietnamese won. Vietnam is a paradise now.
It's a revitalized economy.
It is beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world. And they still got the pyramids. They still got all the Naga statues. They still mad dark skin over there, all that. Vietnamese kicked United States ass. Vietnam kicked their ass. And they ain't never got over it. They never got over it. And it drove them crazy. That's why they ain't never declared war since. When the last time you heard the United States declare war?
I mean,
exactly. See what I'm saying? So how is it the United States 243 years old? They've been at war for 222 years. So that means how many years of peace they've been in? What, 10 years? When was that? When? Where was I at? Because in between that, we had slavery, right? Then it was what? Jim Crow, right? Then it was segregation, right? Then it was the prison of pipe. Then it was the prison system, right? So when have we ever, in the past 243 years, not been at war with these people?
Right.
And these are the questions that will never be answered. Questions like, why is it that y'all had a whole congressional speech on reparations, but you didn't have Dr. Claude Anderson there that's been talking about the reparation economic program for over 20 years, before they even was talking about it? How is it that he's not on this panel? Who didn't call him? How he didn't promote himself to be there? No, but you're going to get Ta-Nehisi Coates, the nigga that write Black Panther, to talk about it. You're going to get the comic book writers to talk about it? Okay. You see what I'm saying, boys?
Right.
That's like going to the brain surgeon, you get your brain surgery, and then they pull the heart surgeon out.
Man, I see you dropping some dimes, man.
Yeah, I just had one of those days, man. So dealing with some stuff today with these people. I'm just hearing about some of the horror stories in the community, some of these dirty Moors is doing to people, and as well as, it's just so much, man. Just so much whack shit that don't even gotta go down. And it's frustrating because in the end, like I said, I don't want to give up. However, you have to make this at some point. An assessment has to be made. Like, these people don't want it, so you got to find the ones that do and stick to them. Everybody else is secondary.
Man, so how can the people get in touch with you, Aseer? Anything you got going on?
Islam, man. Anybody wants to holler at me, hit me up at houseofl@hotmail.com anytime. And hit me up there. You could also the identity consolidation, hit me up at houseofl@hotmail.com. You can also check out www.gumroad.com, GUMROAD.com, and type in Aseer the Dugateers into the chat of some of my classes. You could also check out www.cordovaorganics.com. Great lifestyle, skincare line, especially dealing with some of the stuff from all of the horrible diets that we have. Red number 9, yellow number 5, high fructose corn syrup, multidextrin, all of that stuff are Nuremberg chemicals, meaning that these were the chemicals that they were using in places like Dachau and Auschwitz on them people that they put in the ovens and all that. So this is what they put into the food. So most candy and stuff that you see like that is all basically derivative stuff that they was testing on these people in the camps. But the one thing about the camps, when you think about that, those people, because there's a whole host of people who believe that didn't happen. But there's one thing about it, if you look it up, like a lot of the people who worked in them camps, them Nazis, them niggas had health care, they had dental plans, and had all of that. Because the people who voted to put Hitler in office was not the so-called elite. It was not any of them people. You know who it was? It was the civil servants. It was the clerks. It was the bus drivers. It was these people that was constantly being shitted on by the government. You see what I'm saying? Every day. And now look what has happened. They did the same thing. Who that sound like? Who voted for Trump?
Right.
See? Same thing. The bus drivers, the lowly white people, the people who felt like they had nothing left because the country's done, and they could sense in their genetics that their race is extinct. They can sense it. And it's slowly driving them insane, but they can't talk to nobody else about it that's not white. So there's thousands of forums online now, even in the dark web, of white people discussing this thing like for real. How they're going to survive. What happens when there's only a couple of them left.
Wow. Well, man, it's always good talking to you, Aseer, man. Like I said, man. You want to shout out your Cash App? How do people?
Oh yeah, thank you, man. If anybody wants to holler, wants to donate, you can donate to me at Cash App. You will go to Prince Charles Rogers L. The money sign DS418. You can also check out my website, www.aseerthedukeoftears.com. Please excuse anybody that's ordered and hasn't received one. My site was, again, these dirty niggas hacked my site, so I'm striving to get back in and clean that up. So please bear with me on the delays, but inshallah, getting that done soon. But what else did I say? Also, you can check me out on YouTube. Please subscribe to Aseer the Duke of Tears. I have my own page. And again, check out www.cordobaorganics.com.
Yeah. Like I said, I got some of the Cordoba Organics products. They're excellent. So, you know what I'm saying? Anybody out there looking to clear their skin up or get into to the real stuff, please visit Cordoba Organics. Highly recommend.
John Henry and the Gilded Path. It's a comic book novel. Also, again, I do fine art in terms of canvas painting, gallery shows. So anybody interested in